What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including huge news as AEW and New Japan are working together. WWE Hall of Famer and former tag team champion Devon Dudley is recovering from a stroke. Peyton Royce has a stalker. Carmella had a really bad fall, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, our first story is KENTA attacks Jon Moxley. Fans tuning into last night's Dynamite Beach Break special were shocked to see New Japan Pro Wrestling's KENTA run in and attack Moxley during the show's main event 6-man tag match between the team of Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Jon Moxley, Rey Fenix, and Pac. The current Bullet Club member is the #1 contender for Moxley's IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, but the thought of a New Japan wrestler on AEW television has been unthinkable given New Japan's past refusal to collaborate with AEW. So what's going on? Are they collaborating? Now, as fans know, all elite wrestling stars have worked in New Japan, such as Moxley, but New Japan stars haven't worked on Dynamite, a situation that AEW president Tony Khan has tried to remedy. It appears the two promotions are now working together. During an episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer revealed, "The deal is done and the two sides have a working relationship. The pandemic sped it up, but it also holds it back at the same time. You know, the only way to get Moxley was to make a deal. When AEW first started, New Japan had no clue how successful they'd be. There are a lot of things about it." Meltzer also discussed why the deal took so long to work out. There was really a lot of childish stuff, and even when I tell people, they, don't want to believe it. There really was a lot of childish stuff. Essentially, they wanted Tony Khan to come and see them, and he didn't. Apparently, New Japan officials felt AEW was a fly-by-night promotion that wouldn't last long. They were wrong and they went their separate ways. Then they needed Jon Moxley because he has the US title. I mean, they could have stripped him. They could have if they wanted to, but they didn't want to. The only way to get him, because he couldn't go to Japan, was to do it here. But the only way to do it here was to get approval from Tony Khan, so it opened up the door. In 2020, Tony Khan informed fans that something big was coming for the promotion, and while fans have been jaded by past hyperbole, AEW has brought in Sting as well as formed a partnership with Impact. Its collaboration with New Japan is arguably the biggest thing to happen in the last few months and could see a number of dream matches, especially if New Japan's Bullet Club comes to America to battle the former members of the Bullet Club. At this point, it's unknown how much the two promotions will be working together, but it's really exciting news. Next up, an ex-WWE star goes public with her gender change. Now, if you remember Tyler Rex, he was around the WWE between 2008 and 2012, appearing in FCW, ECW, and SmackDown. He was more infamously known for using John Cena's finisher, where Cena actually called him out for it, as he wasn't too happy. WWE would release him in 2012, where then he sporadically appeared on the independent circuit. The former superstar Tyler Rex, whose real name was Gabe Tuft, is now going by the name of Gabby. Congratulations to her for making this very bold step in her life. Next up, Edge reveals when he plans to retire. WWE Hall of Famer Edge's recent Royal Rumble win has fans wondering if the formerly retired superstar's comeback is only the beginning, or if Edge has a retirement date in mind. Wrestling's ultimate opportunist spoke with the media and answered the questions of if and when he plans on hanging up his boots for good. "I don't want to overstay my welcome, and I want this run to help. I don't want it to hinder. I don't want to take away from the business, the industry, from a talent. I want to add. Well, I can do that. That's what I want to do. I have to be honest with myself and know that, but I also have my inner circle. My inner circle is brutally honest with me. I've had the discussion with Beth Phoenix. She's going to tell me, it's time. You're embarrassing yourself now, and I don't want it to get there. So it'll be before that, but I don't know what that is." One thing Edge would like to do before he retires is renew his tag team with Christian and have another run in the WWE's tag division. Edge spoke with Alistair McGeorge from the UK's Metro about this, saying, "I would love it. I think at some point that would need to happen, just because there are so many opportunities there. Between Edge and Christian against the Usos, I mean, man, Edge and Christian against the New Day, Edge and Christian against Ziggler and Rude, Edge and Christian versus the Street Profits, not for nothing, Edge and Christian versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. There's some stuff there." A tag team dream matches are a rarity in the WWE, but Edge brought up at least two, taking on the New Day and Reigns and Rollins. Our fans know there's no such thing as mandatory retirements in wrestling, short of a loss to the Grim Reaper, but more than one wrestler has been accused of tarnishing their legacy by overstaying their welcome. But what do you think of Edge's comments, and should he have stayed retired before his 2020 return? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Peyton Royce is being stalked. The talented Australian superstar recently tweeted a reminder to fans of what is considered acceptable interaction with her and what crosses the line. PSA, it's not okay to send packages to someone's mailing address if they do not personally give you their mailing address. This includes friends of the recipient. This is stalking and I will report you to the authorities. If you would like to send fan mail, please use the WWE PC. Now, most people know better, and like all of us, wrestlers' homes are their castles, a place to get away from their job and the outside world. And in the cases we've seen lately of stalkers coming to wrestlers' homes, and it's easy to see why Peyton is upset. Next up, where is Bo Dallas been? Is Bo Dallas still signed with the WWE? The man who once asked fans to Bo leave hasn't been seen on TV in some time, and while we've heard various rumors about the superstar's return for months, he has yet to show up. In an exclusive article with Ringside News, they revealed Ringside News has learned that Bo Dallas has been around WWE television tapings. He is simply not used. There is no indication that WWE has any plans for him to return. One tenured member of the creative team confirmed to us that Dallas's name is never brought up. He's been around, just not used. As of this writing, there is no real plan in motion for him to make a television return. Next up, WWE Hall of Famer and former tag team champion Devon Dudley is recovering from a stroke. And Devon discussed the situation on his Table Talk podcast, letting fans know that the health issues he discussed dealing with a few weeks back were the after effects of a stroke. "I'm doing alright, I'm getting stronger and stronger each day. I was denying it and wasn't saying anything before, but I'll let it out now. I had a stroke and now I'm doing so much better. I'm back to my normal self. Almost." The 48-year-old had Matt Hardy as a guest on his podcast and told Matt about how he is honouring his longtime in-ring rival. "When we found out we were having a boy, I went to Matt and said, I hope you don't think this is creepy, but I want to let you know I'm going to name my son Matthew after you. We went through hell, man. We went through so many battles, but yet we became friends after all the battles and the TLC matches, and I felt that close to Matt, and I wanted to name my son Matthew." The bond between wrestlers is nothing short of extraordinary, whether it's the many cases of wrestlers helping out the late Brody Lee's widow and children, or stories like this. And finally, Carmella health update. Our fans watching the Carmella vs Sasha Banks match at last Sunday's Royal Rumble were concerned when Carmella dived out of the ring at Banks, hitting Banks but also crashing her head into the protective covering on the floor. Corey Graves gave an update on his podcast. "Anyone watching when that dive happened and Carmella went sailing through the bottom rope, and I believe it's known as a scorpion, that's what my kids call it when we watch fail videos, when someone's feet hit the back of their head, it was not a good time. She landed face first and I'm pretty sure she kicked herself in the back of the head. She was a little banged up, but she's still alive, she's still kicking, and she'll be alright. We're glad things turned out okay for Carmella and wishes her a fast and full recovery." But there you have it, folks, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for our exclusive lists, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.